That was a mental start. Will we see another start similar to that? Will we see smoke just suddenly shoot up into P1? We'll have to see.
That would be unreal.
The cars are settling on the grid now. Hopefully there's no connection issues. Hopefully people get through this race swimmingly. Interestingly, Hoop has underfueled as the 5 red lights are counting down. And they are out and we are away.
It's a great start from Freeman.
Can't really tell who's got the better start there, but it looks like Freeman might have the edge on Hoop. They're going to go side by side into turn 1 and Freeman's got him. As Jam has got smoke as well, as we're blasting up towards the top of the hill, and I believe is that Flembog having a go at smoke?
Yeah, it is. Flembog.
Great start there from the Haas driver, and he's got him. Works his way all the way up into P4. Fantastic start. Ghost has lost the position to the start to Flembog, as I can see Rando and Ham battling in the background. They're going to go side by side into the hairpin. Rando backs out of it a bit, and they are going to make contact. Ham's just lunged it on Ghost, I think, and made a bit of contact, kind of
got the move. Oh,
barged his way through, but Ghost is going to be ahead of him. So keeping a watching brief from Rando's POV as Ghost does get him. Does Ham maybe try it into the chicane though?
Huge incident.
No, he doesn't. Ghost cuts the corner slightly to stay ahead of him, but they are going to continue battling, and
Ghost puts him in the wall there a bit.
Yep. As Zydrad and Beast are battling out a bit and towards the back of the field, give them a little bit of screen time.
Rando got damage.
I'm not sure. I'll have a look.
Might get a good camera angle to have a look.
No, he doesn't. He's fine. But he is down in P8. And really the two fantastic starters are, you have to say,
Kevin is
Freeman and... Oh, Kevin must have got damage then.
Yeah, he's changing his wing.
Yeah. Freeman and Flembog, you have to say.
What a start from Freeman.
Nicky is up 5 positions. But yeah, Freeman, now the car really in control of this race at the moment. Yes, Nicky, as I've said, has got up 5 positions, so his F2 setup obviously working wonders in the wet. As interestingly, amongst all this chaos, there's people changing up and down everywhere, either side of him, but Crispy has stayed in P10 at the start. That's interesting. But Freeman's already opened out a gap, and we saw this in Division 3 yesterday in the rain. These gaps do begin to open. Certain drivers are more confident than others in the wet, and Freeman at the moment, a driver that does look very, very confident. As B-Dunk is all over the back of Crispy as well, another driver who's showing a lot of confidence.
Got Zydrad on the back of Beast as well.
Yeah, Zydrad has got 100% ERS, but then so does Beast. This is going to be so hard for these drivers to overtake.
Yeah, it really is.
Hoop's taken a decent bit out of Freeman, so as we cross the line for lap 3, and Hoop, yeah, a lot quicker than Freeman at the moment. I will double check, and Freeman does still have all of his wing. So Hoop obviously settled down and is getting used to the conditions a bit, and is showing good speed. Ghost Smoke does not have damage, so, but just obviously not quite as accustomed to the conditions as the top 4, as Flembog and Jam
still
certainly
holding
not.
on P5.
Yeah, exactly. As Flembog and Jam certainly aren't being dropped by Hoop and Freeman.
Got Hoop right at the back of Freeman now, so...
Yep. Stay on board with the Ferrari driver. He's used quite a lot of his ERS to catch back up though, so come into play if he wants to try and make a move. It's so difficult to make a move as is.
Where would you say the best overtaking place is on this track?
I'd say at the top of the hill in Sector 1, if someone runs slightly wide, then you can maybe nip it up the inside. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2, and that is B-Dunk. Oh, he is spun, and he's going to have to let pretty much everyone through.
That's unfortunate. I think Bez has picked up a penalty trying to avoid that as well.
So he's pushing very, very hard, and just, yeah. He hasn't got any damage, but he will probably have quite hot tyres. He's got to regroup himself and get back into this race.
Oh, Zydrad's missing an end plate.
Oh, he is. I wonder whether he got that from battling with Beast. I saw him near the beginning of the race and he was fine on damage, but yeah, the moment he's missing an end plate and really hindering him at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to make this even tougher.
As Nicky, I've just seen, I don't know if we missed that, as maybe he got past... no, Nicky was behind Darnell. No, Nicky was ahead of Darnell as is, but into P12 now after being outspin. It was after being outspin, wasn't it?
He's not far behind Midzi either. Great start from Nicky.
Yeah. Kind of surprised with Midzi that he's not able to maybe bridge the gap slightly to these cars ahead of him, given he is regarded by many as one of the best drivers, if not the best driver in the wet in SLR.
Oh wow.
I know Zydrad said that himself, and he's a driver who's not slow in the wet himself. I think he might have a little bit of wing damage though, like one of that light green damage. His front wing looks relatively fine from the from on board with it, but not quite, as Nicky is drifting around the final two corners. Does put him under a bit of pressure from Darnell. But Darnell spins up his tyres so much coming out the final corner. Traction looks absolutely horrible. Yeah, you see Darnell, he's like basically trying to floor it coming out of the corner, and he's just got nothing. As wow,
yeah.
Hoop got pretty close to Freeman in that hairpin. I just went on board with Hoop because I saw the gap go down and really put him a lot of pressure on the McLaren driver.
It's going to be tough out of that last corner with the ERS as well. Well, any corner really into the tunnel as well, because you've got to find the traction first and then use the overtake button. Otherwise, yeah, you're just going to light your rear wheels up.
Absolutely. I think if there's going to be any moves in between these top two especially, it's going to be happening in strategy or through mistakes. But they're still looking quite good as is. Flembog staying reasonably attached to them. He's got a decent bit of ERS. As does Jam. Oh, Hoop has just clouted the wall and has lost his wing.
Surely not.
Hoop's got major wing damage on his left-hand side, and that does allow Jam through into P2. And will Hoop pit to change his wing, or will he try and just brave it out? As Crispy's in the pits now. Wonder whether he's got damage. He does. They're repairing a new front wing for him.
Oh wow.
Disaster for Hoop and Crispy. And if Hoop has to pit, well, this brings Nicky up into the points if Hoop has to pit. Because he'll have to pit again.
Not. Surely not.
That'd be scenes if that happens. As Zydrad's making a move on Beast. Just had a look. Yep, into that spot that I thought he would. Oh, and he's clouted the wall again, and he's lost even more of his wing for good measure. Yeah, he made the move on Beast, looks like on the inside of the corner at the top of the hill in sector 1, and then
Beast has lost an end plate as well, I think, from that.
Wall. Yep. One
While
driver
all this is
with
happening, Southerners is right behind those two with a fine front wing, so Southerners looking at a P14 at the moment if these two in front have to pit. So,
Yep. And on board with Hoop, will he pit for his damage or will he stay out? A Smoke picks up a time penalty. And Hoop does stay out. So he doesn't want to make that extra pit stop, and that is very, very smart, I think, from Hoop. But yeah, showing these conditions are so treacherous at the moment. And that does give really, really nice breathing room to Freeman as well. 2.6 second gap to Jam now. As Crispy's just picked up a penalty for his troubles as well, as Zydrad is in the pits. Yeah, now
Crispy's coming to pits again.
Oh, he's having a disaster at the moment, just not getting to grip with the track in these conditions whatsoever.
He's lost an end plate on his out lap. Oh, more than an end plate, actually.
But I'm going to ride on board with Fembog here. Interesting to see that Hoop has not actually dropped as much pace as I thought he would, given his damage. Maybe that's just his paces.
Oh,
Yellow
there's a
flag
yellow
is set
flag.
to 2.
Oh, is it Rando?
Oh, it's Rando. Rando spun.
Is he
He
still
still
got his
kept
front
his
wing?
wing, but he's now lost the position to race roller, so
Most important thing is he's kept
as
his wing.
Darnell has just picked up a penalty.
Minimal damage.
And that is going to invite Midzi a bit to maybe close up on Rando, but very, very fortunate to escape with damage, but yeah, just slight little mistake there by Rando, losing him a bit of time.
Darnell pushing Nicky. He's trying to go around the outside of Raskas. He's just pushing Nicky through that middle and last sector.
Yeah, Nicky parking the bus, some might say. As yeah, Darnell just is not able to get good enough exits of corners to get past the Renault driver.
Doing well though, he's got to be patient, which he is. Put Nicky under pressure, which I'm sure, well, Nicky probably is under as much pressure as possible.
Yep, Nicky is putting his car in all the right places though to defend from the Alfa Romeo driver. But Darnell might be a bit closer here. Is he going to think about a move? No, he's not. As B-Dunk is in the pit, so I guess that is another one who does have damage. Another question is, will Hoop repair his damage in the pits?
He's looking to cope with it at the moment, so I think he would just lose time if he did. He's not struggling too much.
Yeah, I was very, very surprised actually at that, because, as I've said, because it is absolute killer around here. Just all these slow speed corners, just obviously he's able to manage the understeer, adjusting his braking points accordingly for his damage. But he does slightly tap the wall again. Luckily that is the side that already was damaged slightly, so...
As he came out the last corner,
Yellow flag is set to 3.
who's that?
That is SLR Darnell. He has spun and he's lost some of his wing. He's now going ultra defensive for SLR Southerner.
Surely not.
And they're going to go side by side into turn 1. Darnell doesn't have a wing, and I'm sure he's not going to put up too much of a fight to his brother. And doesn't. SLR Southerner now up into P14, doing a fantastic job from the back of the field.
Nice and steady from Southerners. Yeah, he could actually get some points from this race. Keep that front wing.
Yeah, still a very, very long time to go for this race as well. Looking at these gaps, drivers are rather spaced out at the moment. It's very uncharacteristic of Elite. Just shows really just how certain drivers, they don't want to be near others. They just kind of just want to get round, I guess you might say. Just
I feel like this track's a bit of an
more than
exception, considering the huge gap between pad and wheel users. Oh,
that is true.
As I'm speaking, Midzi has just spanked the wall.
Oh, and yep, he has got damage himself. He's got big damage.
That's big damage, yeah. If he pits, which I imagine he's going to have to, that puts Nicky up into P10.
It does.
Yeah, as Midzi does come in.
Yep, Nicky is in the points now.
He is in
and I
the
don't
points.
think Midzi will be able to make these tyres last to the end either, so... Hello, Nicky.
I've got my fingers crossed for him.
Same. Oh, if only our race on Friday was in the wet, I'd have loved that. That'd have been so much fun. It's so fun just dancing your car around here on the traction zones in the wet. It's kind of grim, but I did a few laps midweek in the rain, whatever, and then Nicky was just trying to get the top of SLR in every single time trial. Of course, spanked my time. As Zydrad says, the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah,
and
that was a good time.
yeah, looking at the fastest laps, yeah, a 10th quicker than the fastest lap Freeman had posted. So yeah, just showing that Zydrad, without that damage, and if he'd have had clean air, and if it had been in a good starting position,
yeah, that showed some good pace.
would be a race leading pace. As Hoop does now finally pit for his damage. I don't know whether he got more, but yeah, he's changing his wing.
I'll check.
I assume.
No, he didn't get any more.
Oh, is that visual glitch again? That might be that visual glitch again that we saw on Saturday, because his wing has been changed, and he was held in his box for a while.
How long did these? I don't know. How long did the intos last? Around.
Maxwell, I think he made his were on about 65%, I want to say, and 65-70%, and he boxed on lap 16 yesterday. But of course, he is a pad driver, so he'll be getting less tyre wear more tyre wear, I should say, than someone like Coop on the wheel. But it will be a stretch from here, though.
Sidrow comes in another. That's a bit of an ego boost for him, down in 18th. Oh, and the Dunk has gone into the pits to retire.
Hopefully his car doesn't come out in an unsavoury position. That'd be not good. Don't want to give you any Vietnam flashbacks either.
What happened in Vietnam?
His car coming out. Well, I guess Spain flashbacks, you might say.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you reminded me now. I actually forgot about that, but cheers.
You're welcome.
Beats picking up a penalty.
Yeah, because Hoop, interestingly, with his pit, obviously he repaired his wing, has got out in quite a nice bit of clean air here in P9, but as I said, it will be a big struggle to make his tyres last to the end of the race. It'll be interesting to see what pace he has now, though.
Bez is now on the back of Nicky gaining.
As Beast's damage is allowing Nicky to kind of just be in the world of his own other than Bez's in P10. As Midzi is now caught up to the Southerner train now, so don't know what the Southerner has picked up damage himself. Yes, he has. So easy to do, and yeah. And yeah, it's causing Darnell, Merckx,
Does that mean
Kevin,
Beast has
Midzi.
damage? Yeah, Beast is missing his right end plate, yeah.
Yeah, Beast has damage as well, and yeah. I think about half the field so far have got damage so far, but to be honest, there's no surprise really, but like I said, Freeman, Jam, Flembog going strong at the moment themselves in P1, 2 and 3. Touch wood. Smoke in P4 has began to pull away from Ghost Colt a bit in P5. Don't know whether Ghost himself has picked up damage, I don't think so. As Hoop sets the fastest lap of the race by quite some margin. But soon he is going to get caught up behind the car of Rando. It's something that Freeman, Jam, Flambog, Smoke probably watch out for a bit because...
Yeah, I was
oh, is Darnell and Southerner's going side by side? Oh, I thought they were going side by side. No, Southerner has pit to change his wing. So that's probably going to put him behind Crispy even.
Flemborg, sort of in a race of his own at the moment.
Yeah, just probably the best position to be in these conditions. Just he's not driving to keep up with Freeman and Jam, and he's just kind of just driving for his own race to possibly secure a podium. As Jam also is in a world of his own in P2.
Hoop
He
is
has
flying.
been Mr. Consistent recently.
Hoop is flying.
Yeah. Yeah, he's absolutely sending it full gas.
A bit surprised to see that actually, especially through the risk of damage. But who am I to judge someone that just set an 8 flat around Monaco?
Yeah, it's another fastest lap of the race for Hoop.
Unreal.
I guess like he only knows one gear, and that gear is go quickly.
He's fighting the car through every straight. He just carries on. There's no lifting at all. It's catching it perfectly.
Yeah, that is some ridiculous time. A 122 with full fuel. I think I did some practice and set something like a 121.9 as my best lap on the Inters, but in a qualifying session. But that's with low fuel, hot lap, and alike. So I've just seen Liverpool have gone 1-0 up. Yeah,
Get
Owen
in.
put in the chat.
I'd usually say no, but I've got a cheeky bet on it. So. Don't condone any of
Flembog
that.
has just picked up a penalty.
Oh, and there's Ghost Cold. As you said that.
Yep. But on board with Hoop, he is now going to be caught up behind Rando a bit, I think. This might halter his charge a bit as Crispy is pitted again. Don't know if he's picked up more damage, but he is now a lap down as Crispy, and yeah.
I think Merckx has just overtaken Kevin, by the way.
Yeah, and their gap to Darnell's gone up by quite a bit. And Darnell, we know, has wing damage.
I wonder if Kevin got more wing damage and sort of dropped off. No. Oh yeah, Kevin's missing his right end plate. Wonder where Merckx got past him there. He's done well.
Yeah, he's done very well.
Oh, Kevin skids out of that. Now Crispy's gonna have to go
now there's a Kevin train.
When he gets past.
Yeah, Kevin not fighting it too hard from, and he shouldn't fight it too hard to his teammate either.
Yeah, and
they'll be in a
sort of
party
watching
together
that in the background. Ooh, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a scary spot to let him through, but well executed.
Yeah, we've got Hoop
P15.
right on the back of Rando now.
Yep. Again, if you'd have told Rando a few weeks ago that he would be fighting a Monaco will-to-will with Hoopalicious, he could have told you we were lying, but as he loses the back end slightly, still hasn't picked up damage, and doesn't pick up a penalty, so
Rando
very, very well as he elects to go for the early stop.
It could work in his favour, as we've seen Hoop and Zydride when they pit, they were flying, so it could work for Rando.
Yeah, new inters matter quite a lot.
It was only a second behind Race Roller as well, so yeah, could jump 1 or 2 cars there.
Interestingly, I want to see, does Rando come out ahead or behind Nicky? That's what's crucial here. He is behind Crispy, who's gone for another pit stop. But Crispy does get fairly out of the way, and yeah, he's behind Nicky and Bezzers. Yellow flag in sector 3. Is that Southerner? I want to say. Yes, it is Southerner. It's Southerner letting Freeman past. Because I think Southerner's got more damage. But Freeman is just continuing along on his merry way in P1. Currently 6 seconds ahead of P2. As Jam elects to go for that stop as well. Don't know whether he's heard something about Hoopalicious having clear air and wants to make sure that he comes out ahead of the Ferrari, but... Or maybe he just spied some clean air himself as the Williams driver. Mitzi picks up a time penalty. As Smoke and Ghost are now in.
Well, that's Race Roller's pit as well. I imagine that's to cover off Rando's stop.
Yeah, I expect so. The Hoop's now coming through. Interesting to see where he comes out relative to Jam and Smoke. He does come out ahead of Smoke. But behind Jam by 5 seconds. Does mean it's going to be quite tight between Hoop and Flambog. And Flambog, of course, does have a penalty. As Nicky is now pitted. So that does
Hoop's
free up
tyres
Rando
might
a bit.
not make it as well to the end, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Race Roller's gained quite a bit of time on Rando actually in that stop.
Yeah, it's probably the traffic that Rando's faced.
Yeah, Bez is stuck behind him. Got a nice little train behind Merckx as well now.
Yep. The Beast train became the Southern train, became the Darnell train, became the Merckx train. Different people taking turns. I know Merckx and Midzi are friends, so...
Nicky,
different strategies at the moment.
Nicky pit this lap as well, and he's come out in a perfect spot. Nothing in front, nothing behind. As Freeman now pits himself, which means Flambog takes the lead. Freeman is coming out of the pits now. And yep, does come out ahead of Ham Jam. And Jam is now behind his brother. But I expect Ham will be pitting in the next couple of laps. All of these stops are reasonably early, to be fair. Did you say Freeman just pit?
Yeah, Freeman just pit.
And he's come out ahead of Ham Jam?
Yeah. It's an entire pit stop ahead of Ham, which is remarkable wet pace at the moment in Monaco for Freeman.
I didn't see that.
Well, yeah, Flambog's in the lead, so
And Ham Jam hasn't pit, so he was actually down.
Yeah, and Jam's now behind him. I
Well,
don't think I don't think they're gonna fight each other too hard.
the
Ham
word
is on a
commanding
completely
comes
different situation.
comes to mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Jam is losing a lot of time behind Ham, so as Hooper's just picked up a penalty himself, it's going to cost him. Zydron and Midzi. Zydron and Midzi going side by side behind Mercs. Zydron on the outside of Midzi going. We know that. Yeah, we know these three Zydron, Midzi, Mercs get on quite well, practice with each other a decent bit, but no love lost between them, it appears, in actual race trim at all. As Flembog has had to change his wing as well.
This whole
That does
race...
elevate Hoop up into P3.
Sorry, this whole race, Ghost Colt has just been sat patiently behind Smoke, hasn't lost his head, or always Flembog getting sideways out of the pit exit, and he's actually going to come out ahead of Ghost Colt, just as I'm saying that. But
yeah,
Ghost
but
Colt's
he's lost the
just
position to
sat behind.
Smoke. Yeah, losing the position to Smoke, though, because Flembog was in quite a comfortable
Yeah, he was.
P3, if you remember.
Did you say he changed his wing, though?
Yeah, he changed his wing,
Yeah,
and
so it'll be
Smoke
that.
and keeping his wing clear. If Hoop can't make it to the end, Smoke could be in with a shout of the podium. It's not too far-fetched, I don't think.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Yeah. That would be absolutely glorious, but he's doing a fantastic job
Yeah,
as is Smoke.
he's doing really well.
It's interesting that Mercs and Darnell have not yet pitted. I guess going to the more conventional point of halfway into the race to switch onto a new set of inters. Just running their own races.
Jam could be on for the fastest lap here.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to get that. That'll be interesting. Jam is 9.
Oh.
Freeman's just set one himself.
Yeah, I think Jam
Because
must
Jam
be the
beat
time
Freeman's
to,
lap.
it
2
does.
tenths, yep.
Get it close towards the end then if Jam keeps plugging in some laps.
Oh, and something's quite interesting. Was Ham ahead or behind Race Roller when...
Ahead.
Yeah, and he's
by
lost the
quite a
position
bit.
to the... And he's lost the position to Race Roller, so... Is that just that undercut from the Alfa Romeo driver? But I didn't expect Race Roller to be ahead of him, but he is.
Ham was behind... Ham was behind Ghost Colt, yeah. Yeah, Ham was sort of right behind Ghost Colt and Smoke, just sort of going around with them.
And he does look to have a lot more pace than Race Roller at this stage of the race, as Mercs does pit.
And Rando is only 4 seconds and he's closing on Ham as well.
Yeah. Yeah, showing really good pace at the moment relative to these two cars. So he had a little bit of wing damage that he wanted to fix. And these three, well, if there's a safety car, they have no pens. Yeah, I think Rando had a little bit of wing damage, which is why he went into the pits. I'm not 100% though, but...
this trio is still going at it, Mitzi, and... Well, without the Mercs now, but Bez's instead.
Yeah, Bezos has jumped Nicky in the pits. Going for that overcut strategy. But Bezos does have a penalty, so could play Nicky into quite a good position.
Ham right at the back of Roller now.
Yeah. Yeah, the one to watch really though out of the top people, because this is quite important for the battle for the podium. As Rando pits, as Crispy is retired in the pits. Oh no, that's Darnell pitting. Sorry.
I was going to say, for Rando, surely not.
Yeah, Darnell pit and Crispy retired in the pits. Darnell repairing his wing as well, I think.
No,
he's not. He's elected to not repair his wing.
What were you going on to say about one to watch?
Well, Hoopalicious with his older tyres.
True,
Can he make it to the end? And does this battle between Smoke, Flembog and Ghost turn all of a sudden into the battle for the podium?
Depending on Smoke's pace as well, keeping these two behind, can Race Roller and Ham close up on them? Because neither of them have penalties, whereas 3rd to 6th do. It does seem
Yeah.
like Ham is getting stuck behind Roller though at the moment.
Yeah, it's Roller doing a great job at the moment of great bit of defensive driving. Must be so frustrating when you're in that position of Ham, where you know that you've got better pace in the car ahead, and
Yeah. To be fair, saying that, Roller has, I think he's just set personal best this lap. Yeah, he has, but he's just, I mean, yeah, Ham's just faster, so probably getting a bit annoyed. Although actually they did close a second in that last sector, so.
Yeah, as Rando's maybe slightly dropped off from them a bit. He's now running his own race a bit. In the absolute middle of nowhere, 5 seconds behind Ham and 19 ahead of Midzi.
In a good spot.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you think, near the end of the race, he's going to be pulling out that gap to Mizzy because Mizzy's got older tyres. Might Rando think at some point near the end of the race to bolt on a fresh set of inters and go for fastest lap, perhaps?
Potentially, yeah. That's not a bad shout.
And of course, someone like Hoop, Zydrad, Midzi might have to pit right near the end of the race and go for it themselves, so might be futile, but it's worth a go, I think.
At the moment, Nicky will, I mean, we've still got quite a bit to go, but Nicky's actually looking at P10 because of the penalty situation.
Yeah, I think he wants Midzi and Zydrad to kind of stay out as long as possible on their tyres.
Yeah.
As
Zydrad hit really early, didn't he?
Yeah, as I think they're kind of... I don't know whether they're holding up Bez's a bit. It's hard to tell, really, but he is probably expecting them to pit at some point, and also, but
Ghost Colt's dropped off quite a bit from Flembo and Smoke.
check if he has damage.
Yeah, no, he's fine, I think. I just had a mistake or
mistake.
something.
Yeah, so easy to do here.
Ham and Roller are closing in.
Yep. Kind of needs to be careful, really, that the gap doesn't go, as Bezos picks up another penalty. That's music to the ears of Nicky. but yeah, Ghost has got to be careful, really, that he doesn't lose too much more time to Roller and Ham, as for the penalty situation, obviously, they don't have one yet, and he could find himself drop down into P7 or P8. They're still doing a very, very good job in P6. I do expect he's shown good pace relative to Smoke will race him to be able to close that gap back up. Sprightly's cheering on Smoke at the moment. They're talking about food.
Sorry?
The people in the chat are talking about food.
Oh, right.
They're talking about what their favourite kind of jam is.
Jam, what kind of jam and ham sandwich you'd have?
Yeah, raspberry, strawberry, apricot. What kind of?
I reckon apricot with a bit of
also,
ham. I mean, I wouldn't have either of them, but if you had to.
Speaking of ham, he's still basically just pushing Race Roller around. He's
literally
tapping the back of the Alpha. But Race Roller's still hanging in there for a very, very respectable P7 at the moment. As they're got up position changes. The big gain as well. Zydrad, despite his early damage, up 6. Nicky up 5 at the moment, but is due to gain his position at least with penalties.
Fingers crossed that he doesn't get one.
And the big losers, of course, Crispy and B-Dunk, the retirees, and Hoop losing 2 positions from pole.
It's going to be interesting on penalties, actually, because of Race Roller and Ham as well, slowly but surely catching this pack for third.
Yeah, if they can get onto and I think Hoop near the end of the race, either he's going to have to pit, or he's going to have completely dead tyres and
just
going to hold up the likes of Smoke and Flembog.
And then, Ham and Race Roller
it could mean it's not completely unfeasible for there to be an entire train from P3 to P8 at the end of the race.
Yeah. I mean, maybe even Random might join in that, depending on how slow Hoop goes if he doesn't pit again. Liverpool scored again.
I'm just going to ride on board with him. Dub.
Bobby Firmino.
Love to hear it. Lovely. Get in. Finally actually winning a game. Like,
Shock.
I don't know what this I kind of don't know what that feeling's like. Yeah. As we are, yes, we are in the... As Sidra picks up another penalty. Yeah, we are in just the relatively quiet stage. Let's give Race Leader Freeman a bit of time, a bit of screen time. See how he's tackling the streets of Monaco. Has 99% ERS as Smoke pits. Huh?
Smoke pit. What?
Does he have damage? How bad is his damage?
Oh, he does.
Oh, I don't know if that's the right decision from Smoke to pit, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, Rando's going to get him now as well, yeah. I mean, it puts him in P9 on fresh tyres.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, like we were saying, Hoop, if he doesn't decide to pit, Smoke is definitely going to be back in that pack, but track position is so important around here.
But yeah, really surprised that he did elect to pit, though, as Flembog himself has damage.
Wait to see.
And this is... Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah, they've dropped off massively to Hoop now.
If I was Smoke, I would have stayed out personally. I would have. He was in a good track position,
yeah, strange decision there.
And given that his pit stop means that, well, he's lost out to drivers that could have conceivably overtook him as is. But I guess maybe just wants to bring home a couple of points. That's all he's kind of after, really. But now Ghost really has to be thinking about getting past Flembog here. Because with his penalty, Race Roller and Ham will get him near the end of the race, because they are going to catch him, given Flembog's damage. And even Rando, as you said.
I mean, possibly even Smoke, he's got 12 laps. Yeah, and damage is so crucial around here.
Yeah. As his track position. And
you can see them in the background and climb up the hill, Race Roller and Ham.
Yep. But where can Ghost maybe make a move on Flambog? It's going to be tough.
It's gonna be a good move no matter what. Sort of makes you wince when you see someone go for a move around here.
Yeah. But this is where the action is lying at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to work out where Flembog is slow and...
We still without a train, I think, well, it's less of a train now, sort of spread out where Zydrad and Mitty are. But yeah, definitely for P4 right now. It's going to start to hot up within the next 5 laps.
Absolutely. But yeah, Ghost. You can see how much faster he is through the final couple of sectors, but
Gotta be
not able to
patient.
do anything.
Gotta be really patient to make sure he keeps that win.
And if Hoop pits, maybe even a...
Oh, it's Flembog
does pit.
Wow.
Absolute godsend for Ghost Cult, as Ham and Race Roller are
yeah, just
right
about
up
to
to
get on
it.
the back, yeah. I wonder where that puts
Now Ghost
Flembog. I
has
wonder
got
if he gets ahead of Smoke or not. He should
I don't think he will. I don't think he will, because Smoke had to repair his wing, he had to repair his wing, and Smoke pit before him, so surely Smoke will jump in.
Gonna be close. Really close. Actually, I think Flembog might have kept it.
Oh, Smoke's got damage again!
Ah. He's overtaken him. Well, that promotes
yes,
Rando to P7. No penalty for him.
It's a very, very good drive so far as Zydrad pits again. For hopefully the final time. For the sake
Promotes
of it.
Nicky to P12 with no penalties. He's looking... I mean, actually, now Flembog and Smoke have pit, Nicky could be on for some good points.
And Smoke with his damage again as well. It'll be a big one. And that's the whole thing with Monaco, just like if you pit for damage, do you think you're going to get more?
Yeah. Well, like you said earlier, and I agree with you, I mean, if I had an end plate gone at this late stage in the race, I'm not pitting. I've got to deal with it. You're only going to lose places by pitting.
Absolutely. But now Ghost Cult is freed up. Despite his penalty, he is gradually pulling out a bit of a gap to Race Roller. So maybe he can get that to over 3 seconds. Maybe Race Roller's
possibly
close to a penalty himself. Just wants to consolidate the P5. And then Hoop is still that big question mark in P3. Who
His
does, of
tyres
course,
have
have a
got to
penalty.
be screaming at this point.
Race Roller slightly taps the wall, but I don't think that's cost him
That is
any
fine.
damage, at least. But it's absolute testament to these drivers in particular, just near the front of the field, of just how well they're doing to avoid damage. Like a Jam and Freeman, and just look at that lead for Jam and Freeman in an absolute class of their own, astronomically ahead of Hoop, who I think is just driving as slow as he can to bring those tyres home to the end of the race.
Yeah, it's short shifting every corner.
And he knows he's comfortable to Ghost. And comfortable to Race Roller and Ham as well. It could all change at the end of the race, of course. As Race Roller's now got within the DRS. Well, I say DRS, obviously there's not going to be any DRS of Ghost Cult. And yeah, with that penalty situation, Ghost would be demoted to P6 at the moment, and Race Roller up into P4. Check said Hoops on some next level tyre saving. Yeah, not taking any. As Flembox gets the fastest lap of the race.
Rando dropping quite a
Could he
bit
maybe
on
head
Ham.
onto Rando? Does Rando have damage?
I don't think so. I think he's just taking it as
No,
cautious as
doesn't.
possible.
Yeah, he's just consolidating that P7, and I don't blame him
one
at
of
all, to be
the
honest.
was one of the early stoppers as well, wasn't he? So
Yeah. But nowhere near as early as Hoop.
yeah, nowhere near.
But I do think I do think that Hoop is going to get pretty damn close to puncture territory, though. Oh, has Hammer spun it?
Surely not. Oh, he has spun it.
Yay, behind Race Roller, and he's picked up a penalty for joining the track as well.
Now that is very inviting to Rando.
Yeah, it is. Maybe Rando's maybe slightly regretting not taking it
Yeah.
a bit harder, because
Did Ham pick
if it
up
had been
any
that few
damage
seconds
or?
closer, then maybe Ham. No, I
Nice
think he
fine.
just probably just clipped that.
The left-hand side, yeah.
The Novel chicane, just the left-hand side of it. As the yellow flag in sector 2. Who's that going slowly? Is that Jam?
Surely not.
It is.
Jam's
I think
fine.
he's just made a slight mistake, but he hasn't dropped any damage from it, luckily. As Leah's just said, the Ghost Hoop gap went down by a second that lap. As Smoker's pit again for his damage.
Promotes Nicky even further now.
To P11. And Midzi into P9, and he's not going to have very nice tyres either. So Nicky at the moment is on for a point.
Potentially two.
Sees.
Nicky's also got a penalty. Nicky's got to get closer to Bezos though.
Jam pits. Going for the fastest lap, repairing some damage. Did he get some damage that nobody noticed? I'm not sure. As Beast was in the pits as well there. No, I just think he wanted to go for that fastest lap, maybe. Jam. But that does invite Freeman to do the same, so... So interesting call from Jam. He does... he's kind of accepted that Freeman's probably going to win this race. There's a yellow flag in sector 1 of Merckx getting out of the way of Jam. And wants to push for that fastest lap. As back for this battle of P3, and the gap's gone down by another second between Hoop and Ghost. Hoop, I would love to see an onboard thing of his tyre wear at the moment, because I bet he's got warning lights absolutely everywhere, especially given his pace at the moment. If his tyres pop, then that's another position for all all these guys below him. I think that's Zydrad or Kevin, and one of the two. Smoker's pit again. No, that is Zydrad behind Hoop, trying to unlap himself. I don't think Hoop's going to fight this, to be honest. But Race Roller can smell a podium, I think. He doesn't have a penalty.
Definitely getting closer. Especially if Hoop doesn't fight us with Zydrad, might actually lose a bit of time trying to let him through.
If I was Hoop, I wouldn't particularly fight it, yeah.
Yeah, he lets him through.
Yeah, he's... But then Zydrad just lets Hoop back through.
That definitely would have lost him a
Hoop,
bit
it
of
did look
time.
like he was going to let him through. I think Zydrad just wanted to... I think Zydrad was just playing it sensibly, didn't want to risk causing
Yeah.
Hoop, who's right up there, damage. Let's use this to get right on the back of Smoke. And yeah, Smoke, just ever since he pit once for damage, has just dropped so far back. It's unfortunate, really. As Race Roller, maybe feeling the nerves slightly, has dropped back from Ghost as well. As Merckx lets the race P3 driver through. Oh, just put Smoke right on his tail.
Rando dropped
As a
off
driver
massively
that is
again
also,
to...
as yellow flag and set to 3.
Flagged some
Is that
Mercedes.
Zydrad? This is Zydrad. Yeah, but let's ham through nicely.
Yeah, good sportsmanship
But
there.
yeah, he's race to forget ready for Zydrad. And yeah, that's Pan at Monaco.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice to see these drivers moving out of the way. Seen in a few divisions, people are refusing, and it just sort of ruins the flow of the race a bit. So yeah, it's good to see that.
Yeah, just they know if they make a mistake, just like you don't want to compromise someone else's race when
Yeah. Also,
or when
sorry,
you've got that damage or
I don't
something.
know if I missed it. Did Jam pit to go for fastest lap or?
Yes, he did. Yes. And looking at the fastest lap, he has it. So
Fair play.
good move there from Jam.
Yeah, very smart.
So that extra point at the moment.
Race Roller
Darnell's
getting
picking up
closer
so many
and
penalties going for
closer.
himself. Yeah, just 4 seconds now. There's a yellow flag and
Ghost
has spun.
God.
Oh, that does promote Race Roller up, but does he have damage?
He did get damage from that, I think. Oh no, he didn't. He didn't get damage.
Ghost does. Ghost
does
though.
have damage.
That puts Ham right on the back of him.
And Ghost didn't pick
Oh,
up a
that's
penalty
really
either.
unfortunate for Ghost. He was getting so close to Hoop. And now
Race
he's got
Roller
damage.
has now got 4 laps to get within 3 seconds of Hoop for a podium.
And Ghost Gold Pits promotes Rando up into P6 with no pen as well.
Wonder where Ghost Court comes out.
I think he comes out behind Rando and Flembog.
Again, would you
Both of
pit? I don't know how much damage he had, but
It's quite sizable, to be honest. As Hoop driving really, really closely. You have really slowly. You have a look. Don't know if you want to go on board with him. His inters look almost like slicks at the moment.
oh my god.
Yellow flag and sectors 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, if you're on board with me, it's just Hoop is going to be close to punch territory, I imagine.
But Race Roller, he's got some luck there, it must be said. He's got some luck there, it must be said, to avoid damage from that contact with...
I mean, they went into the
contact
sector 1
with
split
Ghost,
5.3 between them, and it's now 4.6. Hoop is...
oh, but he picks up a penalty!
Oh, he does.
That is not what he needed. That is the last thing he needed. So now he'll have to close up and make that move on Hoop on track.
It's yellow flag.
To 2.
It's Flembog and
That's
Rando.
Rando's
Rando's
spun.
round.
Oh, and he's got damage.
That is unfortunate. And he's got 3
And he's
second
picked up a
penalty for his
penalty.
damage.
Wow. So now he's going to be coming under fire from Ghost Colt at the end of the race, I think, unless he pits.
Depends what the
So
damage
all of a
is.
sudden, these drivers just right at the end of the race, really, really struggling and just making mistakes.
Does he pit? Yeah, random
He does
pits.
pit.
Yeah.
And that's him
Could
losing
that
the points
promote
position.
Nicky into even more points then?
There's a yellow flag in sector 3. I don't know who that is. Is that Ghost? Is that Flembog?
Not sure what
Does
that was.
Flembog have damage now as well? No, he doesn't.
Oh, he almost loses his arm.
Yeah, he's doing some mad Tokyo drift. But here it is. Here is the main fight. Race roller, hoop, ham at the end of the race. I think.
I mean, Rando's still on for a point here, despite that, because of Bez's penalties.
Yeah, Bez does have quite a few. But Nicky is on for at least 4.
Potentially, yeah.
As Hoop now is so slow.
Yeah, he really is.
He's
Sliding through the
crawling.
corners.
He's crawling to the line here on his tyres. It's an absolutely mammoth effort, but 3 more laps, given his speed at the moment. I don't think he's going to make it. I think he's going to get a puncture. It'll be interesting to hear what his tyres are on at the end of the race, but...
Oh, the short shifting is unreal. He's into 6th gear before he can get his foot down. Race roller, yeah. I imagine race roller's going to have him at some point. He's just got to get him on an exit on fresher tyres. No point trying to send it down the inside.
Yeah. He's got to be wary that Hoop's on very old tyres and might be close to a puncture. Might drive suddenly slowly in the tunnel or something.
I mean, Ham could be looking at a podium for all we know.
Absolutely, and he is right with Roller now. This Ghost is now right behind Flembog as well, but we're going to go back on board with the podium. Oh, Roller loses it a little.
He's going to send it? No, he thinks better of it. Ham has a little look. As Roller's now side by side.
Oh! They make contact! Ham's
damage?
right there with them! I don't think so.
Oh my.
Oh, Hoop's lost it into
Ham. He's taken Ham.
And they both crashed! Oh my word! Oh my word! That is a
and
massive
he's got a
crash.
puncher.
Ham
Who
is
got
out
a puncher
of the race.
as well. Who picked up a puncher on his rear left through all of that.
Jesus.
Who's out? Let's pit ahead. So that's Race Roller's podium sorted for him then.
But yeah, that is...
You don't want to see things like that.
So
That's
many
unfortunate.
drivers have been knocked, and now Midzi is up into P7, but he has older tyres than Hoop did. Merckx is out as well. He has left the session. I don't know if you want to get him back in, but yeah,
Is that Merckx?
Yeah, he left the session. I don't know what's happened, but so many drivers just exiting the pits now, and well, Hoop's come out P9. As Freeman, I've just seen, I've missed his final
Freeman's
lap.
going through traffic now.
Freeman is lapping
Bez
Bezos in P7.
Yeah, Bez has got to be careful here. Also got to let him through.
He's got to let him. You should let him through. You should let him through right now.
I mean, I guess you got to realise he is fighting Midzi here as well. But the better thing to do is just let Freeman through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Potentially, Nicky might be able to follow Freeman. Bezos does pull over there, yeah.
Yeah. Bezos, of course, fighting Nicky as well. And Midzi, if I'm Midzi, I've got such old tyres at the moment. I think Midzi's going to pop anytime soon as well. I'd let Freeman through, I'd do one less lap.
He's just lost his rear left. Thing is, if Midzi, he has let Freeman go, that means they finish this lap, don't they? So the leader goes across the line, so that could be saving grace for him.
I'm going to go on board with Freeman. And he's just commanded this from the beginning, got Hoop at the start, and whilst others around him have faltered, have made mistakes, got damage and stuff, Freeman has claimed the Monaco Grand Prix victory, weaving his wheel as he crosses the line. Fantastic drive from Freeman. Nicky is up into P6. Brilliant drive from Nicky.
And Rando looks to get P10 eventually, which is a good recovery from him.
Yep, as Race Roller is Jam secures P2. Race Roller 40 seconds behind Jam. Looks like he's going to get a podium. But
I have
Flambog
got
and
Ghost
Ghost
Colt behind Flambog, yeah. Ooh, getting really close here.
Yeah, it's just Flambog, I think, is going to defend this though.
He should be able to see
Scott
his
might
cross
send
line.
it into Raskas. No, I don't think he's able to get him. So I think Flambog's going to excuse P4, but Race Roller, I'm going to.
Ooh, Flambog
gets time, crosses the line for P3. Flambog gets out of shape slightly.
Oh.
Just stays ahead of Ghost Colt.
Any other
Ghost Colt
track.
secures P5. SLR Southerner comes home.
Definition of dominant from Freeman there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he'd lap
So can we get
P6.
our 3 podium finishes in there? But
Yeah.
I feel like that race as a spectacle is kind of marred by that huge incident involving multiple drivers with Hoops puncture.
I got driver of the day with
huge
the Freeman
incident.
votes. Nicky, you can't overtake him.
Can't overtake a monk. Oh, well done, Nicky. Well done.
Yeah, great
well done.
drive.
Finally, better late than never. Better late than never for Nicky to get points. P18 to P6. Yeah, Panthers pointed out something. Midzi made these inters last 28 laps. Hoop has a puncture after lap 27.
Maybe Hoop's
That is
got a few things to
remarkable.
learn then.
That is remarkable tyre saving from the AlphaTauri driver to make his tyres last at the end of the race.
I'll let
But
you
our
deal
top
with
10,
the,
ABR Freeman, ABR Freeman P1, Jamham P2, Race Roller picks up a fantastic podium in P3, Flambog P4, Ghost Colt in P5, Nicky picks up his first points of Elite in P6 with Midzi in P7.
Yes, Nicky.
Championship leader Hooperlicious is down in P8 after his late puncture. Bez is in P9 and Rando P10. Then the rest of the grid is Kevin, Beast, Southerner, Smoke, a disappointing thing, race after starting in P3. Then Darnell, Merckx, Ham Jam, Zydrad, Crispy, and B-Dunk rounding off the field. You could all tick your boxes. So how did you say you wanted to do these interviews again?
You take third and first, I'll do second.
Okay. Can do. So I've just seen that. Huh. Interesting.
Also, Rando's first elite points as well. Well, point.
Yes, indeed. That is another note. So yeah, starting off with Race Roller. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's your second elite podium, and well, talk us through that race. I don't really think can do that justice. Those last few laps look very intense, but you stayed out of the trouble to get a podium.
I was absolutely mental. I was far too slow at the start of the race. Very, very slow. I don't know why. But after I pitted and got past Ham, because he changed his wing, after I got past him, I was just so much quicker for some reason. And then I saw the gap going down from about 10 seconds to Hoop to about 5 in the space of 3 laps. So I was like, a podium's on here. And then Ghost Court hit the wall. And then when I tried to avoid him, I hit my wing. So I was like, for God's sake. Then Hoop got his puncture, nearly put me in the wall, but obviously can't do much with the puncture. And then obviously hit out like 3 other drivers from what I'm hearing, but I don't really know what happened as I was really in front of it. But yeah, last laps I was losing at least 5 seconds a lap to the cars behind me because my rear left was on like 85% and I was really not wanting a puncture, but obviously fortunately that didn't happen and I'm very happy. Very, very, very happy about this. Obviously it's been not a very good season for me up until this point. I think I've had 9 points in 5 races, which is nowhere near as good as I can do, and hopefully this will be a starting point for a better season from this point forward, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You've taken all your momentum from Spain and have converted that into, and I guess two-upped your race from last year at Monaco. So, great drive from you in P3. Now over to Bunny, who will take Jam in P2.
No, great result, Jam. We saw you in qualifying 3,000ths off of P3 on smoke, so that was unfortunate, but yeah, good lap, albeit. And yeah, from the race, I mean, if you want to take us through your race, I mean, pretty quiet. We didn't see a lot of you actually, but coming to the end, yeah, great podium.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Obviously, around Monaco, it's never easy to finish on the podium, let alone when it's wet for the whole race. But yeah, a little disappointed with quali. I never set a lap that I was really very happy with. My personal best would have got me pole, but I think quite a lot of drivers didn't really maximise the laps. But yeah, would have liked at least a top 3, but then I knew Smoke wasn't particularly quick in the wet, so yeah, got him off the line, which was good. And then yeah, Hoop made a mistake, so I was able to get past him and capitalise on that. And then could never really set consistent laps. Always felt like when I tried to push, I was just going over the limit. So yeah, Freeman got ahead of it, but yeah, then I pitted the course, tried another cut, but I was too far back for that. And then didn't get damage or anything, but just wanted fastest lap, so I pitted again because I knew I had the gap, and yeah, did that. So maybe the 19-second gap at the end flatters Freeman a bit, but he drove a great race. So yeah, he deserved to win that, and yeah, I think I maximised my potential with P2 and fastest lap, and obviously with Hoop and mid-team having the greatest of races, that's really tightened the championship up.
Yeah, exactly. Well said. And yeah, exactly getting the fastest lap and to still be only 90 seconds. Well, I say only, but 90 seconds behind. Yeah, some great pace shown from yourself. So yeah, don't be too hard on your own pace because that was a good showing. But yeah, on to Sem for the win of Freeman. That was dominant. So.
Well, Freeman. To be honest, obviously, like from turn 1 onwards, it never looked in doubt. First victory of the season. First of all, how do you feel?
About time, I think. First win, first podium of the season. Obviously, barring penalties that didn't really count for me, but I was not expecting that, to be honest. Jeez.
Yeah,
I really didn't do much wet practice, so I was not expecting much, but got wet setup, managed a pretty decent lap in quali, messed up my first sector. I think that costed me pole, but yeah, I got pretty good launch. Got Hoop around the outside turn 1, and then yeah, just kept the control, kept good pace. I think Hoop made a mistake, got damaged or something, so I was a little bit off pressure from him. Then I was just pulling away from Jam here and there, but overall maintaining the gap. And then yeah, when I saw he pit, I just tucked it down and just relaxed, cruise home basically.
Yeah, as you said, it's your first podium in the season. I think you'll be the first to say that you've not had the start of the season you hoped, but hopefully this gives you momentum. How are you feeling? What's your aims? Kind of just taking this win forward.
Yeah, obviously I haven't had, I would think, my worst start to the season so far, but yeah, just a lot of mistakes, inconsistency for myself. So yeah, I mean, last week obviously didn't go too well, forced, but could have been a win for a podium. But yeah, just hopefully can use this momentum, just go forward and see what happens.
Yep, and of course, it's good to see McLaren on the top step again as well.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
Is it?
I think that's all we got time for. Well, it's kind of like after a chaotic first few laps, it was a slow burner throughout, but an absolute blockbuster end to the race. I'm sure there'll be lots of deliberating, lots of things going on in the steward's room as well. I can't wait to see that crash from about 5 or 6 different angles. But at the end of it, Freeman is on top once again. First win this season, first win since Abu Dhabi last season, with Jam and Roller joining him. And yeah, Thank you all for watching, and good night.